Thank you all for coming. And we're going to tell you our story, but we're going to start by telling you a little bit about who we are.
All right, so
I'm Michelle Wallace. I work for Central State University Extension. I cover Northwest Ohio as an ag and natural resource extension educator. And I work predominantly with beginning farmers.
And I'm Mark Amante. I'm also an ag and natural resources educator for Central State University here in Southwest Ohio. I've been here for a few years. My primary background has been in small scale diversified fruit and vegetable production. I was really excited to learn about cut flowers as we started this project. And I currently have a little farm of my own where I don't raise cut flowers, but I do raise things like mushrooms, vegetables, and bees when I can keep them alive.
I'd like to just quickly mention the university that we work for. Central State University is an HBCU, which stands for Historically Black College University. We have been around for over 100 years, but we only became a land grant in 2014. And in becoming a land grant, we got extension. So extension is, we provide outreach education, non-tuition based to the community in a variety of different ways. And for agriculture, that includes specialty crops.
Yeah, our focus is primarily small scale farms, specialty crop producers, beginning farmers, and underserved populations. So, basically this project, flowersandseason.com, is the result of, I was asked to speak to a group of cut flower growers in Southern Ohio about organic methods of pest control. And this, when I went to speak, I was attending one of their quarterly meetings. And as I was there, I got to hear a lot of things that the farmers were talking about. And one thing that I think every farmer there expressed was a frustration with dealing with some florists and other flower buyers about how seasonality in cut flowers work. Because if you're not aware, most of the flowers you buy in the grocery store or things like that are, they are grown usually in South and Central America and shipped here. That is where the majority of our flowers come from. And so they're grown in greenhouses, so they can grow anything all the time. Whereas if you're growing here in Ohio, for those of you, who here is a grower of either vegetables or fruit or flowers? Okay, so, we have a winter, that's a thing. We can't grow roses in December unless we have a greenhouse. So, the growers that I spoke with were having trouble working with buyers who didn't understand seasonality. And so, I happened to mention, hey, would this be something maybe we could do a project on to help improve grower-buyer relations? And what came from this is we did a SARE, which is the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Service partnership grant. We worked with 5 flower growers around the state to collect data on when they start the seeds, when they plant them, when they harvest them, and so that we can basically create a database of cut flower availability in our climate zone. And so, we are working on a physical calendar, but we also, as we were working on the project, we thought, I think as things move more and more to digital marketing, we really want to work, I think we want to make an app of some kind or some sort of electronic service. So, we connected with this organization called Market Maker, which is a online marketing service for farms. You could think of it kind of like a social media network for farms, specifically for buyers and sellers of local farm products. And we contracted them to they have an app that they call Food Market Maker, or What's in Season, which is all about, okay, what can I buy from my local farms today? But we said, okay, we want to modify this for cut flower growers. And so, we talked to our growers and what were their concerns. It's not just what's available today that we're concerned with. It's what's available for my wedding in 6 months. What's available for, our anniversary in 9 months. So future casting, and also being able to search things, not just search by product, like, broccoli or kohlrabi or whatever, but search by color. How many do you have blue irises in, June or something like that. So can you search for these? So we worked with them to retrofit the app to read more focused for cut flower growers. Now it's its own separate product in the Market Maker family. We're currently in the phase, we've been in the phase of application testing, and we're looking to actually deploy the app this year.
So what you need to know about the Market Maker is that it isn't a regular company. It bloomed out of Extension, specifically the University of Illinois Extension. And since it's been around, which is about, I think, 20 years. So it started around the time that the internet, like 95. So when the internet became a thing, so was Market Maker born. Since then, 22 land-grant universities from across the United States have contributed to furthering the development of their product so that farmers across the country have the benefit of building their market for free. So everyone's like, well, how do they offer it for free? Universities like Central State, Illinois Extension, all these land grants, write the grants to help fund the development of this product for the benefit of farmers. And a lot of associations like Farm Bureau, Farm Credit, recognize the value it brings to their members, so they also subsidize the cost of the application for the benefit of their farmers as well. So the cut flower application, when we met, the A&R team from Central State met Market Maker team at a conference like this one in Michigan called Glexpo. And we asked them about their What's in Season application. What's in Season is an app that was developed to tell buyers when different fruit became available based on time of year, location. So it's searchable by zip code, and it tells a buyer what farms in that area have different products available. And we asked them if this application could be adapted for cut flowers. It's real expensive. Technology is really expensive to develop. So if you can find a company that has a product similar to what product you need, even though it's a little bit different, because cut flowers, for example, buyers are very interested in color and the length of the stem. They're interested in some things that are different from vegetables, but it's still a database. The way you collect the data and the delivery to the buyers is similar. And we knew that if they would work with us, we might be able to come up with a product that benefits everyone. So what we asked Market Maker to focus on was based on, talking with our cut flower grower partners and them telling us what their needs were. They needed to be able to have an application that would communicate future seasonality of what they were growing, what they had to offer. They wanted to be able to share what was available by color, not just by flower type, because you have different kinds of buyers. You have buyers that know their flowers and know what specific flowers they may be looking for, but you also have buyers that are more interested in the color and what colors are available in order to create a design.
And so we needed to have, we wanted this to be then a centralized place for people to go search for local farms and to find flower availability based on their needs and desires. And so, one thing also we want to promote with this is that, the larger global cut flower industry is all grown in heated, controlled environment agriculture, which is a high energy cost. It's shipped, which is a high energy cost, usually by boat, but sometimes by plane. So, that's a very high carbon footprint. So even like a lot of your local growers, they're using like Sprinter vans and small vehicles, which are technically less fuel efficient, but it's local, it's sustainable, it's more sustainable because it doesn't have that whole long supply chain to go through. And so, that is their sustainability consciousness is a growing market share in the cut flower industry. And we hope this app is going to help synergize that and synthesize it and connect more buyers with growers. Yeah.
I'll just add that the advantage that cut flower growers have in competing with these international cut flower growers is they have the ability to diversify the types of flowers that they offer because of the long trek from South America to the United States. Those flowers spend a week in shipping before they get to the United States. So they can only grow cut flowers that week that they're spending in the growers that are local only have to having a cut flower that has at least a shelf life of about 2 weeks because they don't have to worry about that week spent in a shipping container. So other methods that local growers have that make the development of this application a little bit more complicated has to do with high tunnels, low tunnels, and even in some cases greenhouses, because availability of cut flowers will change based on whether or not a farm has protected culture.
So this is an example of like sort of the landing page of flowersinseason.com for where you can search for like what date, so the zip code, the color, the date, and then it's organized by species that you can then search through. And this is an example, again, like when you search, like if you're looking for zinnias, here's some farms that grow zinnias, for example. So, if you know what specific species you want, you can find the farms that are growing it and selling it.
And remember, you put your zip code in there, so a buyer can search you by your zip code, or they can search you by the flower, or both. And both of those ways help to filter down. You can add color. If you're looking specifically for pink zinnias, then it can filter it down even more. The more information that the buyer shares when they're building their farm profile, the grower, both the buyer, the buyer has the way to filter, but the grower can also, the more information you share about what you're growing, the more information is communicated to the buyer.
So this is an example. So, when you create a profile on flowersinseason.com, you actually start by creating a market maker profile, which you can then have. It can have a map. It can have links to your farm store if you have an online store. They have a buy-sell forum for buyers and sellers. They also formerly had the capability to build your own store on the website. Their contractor has sort of gone defunct, so they're looking for a new one. But right now, at least they've got the buy-sell forum ads. And there are some states where they are working to coordinate with local departments of agriculture and other organizations to host the forums. And we're working with a team of folks from OSU and other interested entities in engaging something like that here in Ohio as well. Question?
So what's the content in those now?
What's
like buy-sell formats? Are those advertisements for products? Or
Yes.
So there's different ways that someone might use the buy-sell forum. I have another slide about that, but I'll just tell you, it would be like, let's say you have a bunch of cut flower product that you want to move, then you have an opportunity to notify buyers that you have, 300 peonies that you need to move, or zinnias or whatever that you need to move. You can tell what price it's going to be at. You can also communicate this with other cut flower growers, because some cut flower growers may be selling, let's say, at a grocery store. I'm just throwing that out there. They may have a contract to sell at a particular, and maybe they were short. Maybe they have a contract to sell a certain amount of flowers to this business, and their season didn't go very well. Maybe they're short, and maybe they need to find another cut flower grower to partner up with to meet that drop.
Yeah, you can actually sign up for text or email alerts for certain products and things like that in this app. So, if you say, like, I know I'm going to, like, on the buyer end, if the buyer knows they're going to want X, Y, Z, they can get product alerts through the app saying, hey, there's somebody near you selling this product. So again, like, if that's real time, like, sales availability data right there, like on your phone when it happens. So it's a great way to directly connect instantaneously with buyers. So, when you go into the profile too, like, this is you list your products and all this stuff. You can have, depending on what you're growing, you can set what methods of payment you accept. Like, you can have other information. You can basically create a whole social media profile for your farm on this site with as much or as little detail as you want. But again, the more detail that you provide in terms of products you provide and other venues, the greater chance you have of working out a deal to sell a product. So here's another example. This is one that's specifically flower related. So you can see they've added a whole bunch of pictures and things like that. We have some default pictures in the app, but also we want the possibility for the farmers to obviously add their own photos. You can have your hours of operation, contact info. There's an industry affiliations section. So this is a great place where you can add, if you are, a member of Farm Bureau, you can add that. If you're a member of the Farmer Veteran Coalition, you can do that. And that way buyers who want to buy from, say, a veteran farmer, and we're looking to add the BFFN, the BIPOC Food and Farming Network, onto here as an affiliate as well. So that way, if people want to buy from a certain subset of farmers, you can search that. It's searchable and findable.
And if you have an affiliation that you don't see on this application, but you would like it to appear, then you should let us know, because we will contact them, send them a form that they would fill out, and it doesn't cost them any money to be affiliation. But what the affiliation does is it gives buyers another way to search and find you. They may say, well, I want to buy flowers from a veteran-owned farm. And then they would if they will check off, homegrown by heroes or some way of finding you. They check off all these affiliations, and it narrows down and filters to help them find you.
So that means, when you're creating the profile on the website, you have to add those affiliations for your farm, what applies to you. So here's another example. This is the website landing page. You can see here, like, you can go. So right now, so the app is still in testing. You can go to flowersandseason.com and this page will pop up. And if you want to enroll your farmer market, you click there. We have at CSU's booth in the exhibit center an iPad set up where if you want to come and set up your farm with our guidance and help, you can do it. We've also got a little handout that we'll pass out if you didn't already get one that has a little bit more information as well. So again, this is what it looks like on the phone app. There's a phone version as well. And you just want to run.
Sure. This is what you'll see at the very top, register and sign in. We're just going to run through like the different steps associated with creating a a grower profile. For those of you who sell not just cut flowers, if you sell vegetables, you go through the same process that you would to create a market maker profile for your farm. So you can create your grower profile, not just with cut flowers. You can also do it for fruits, vegetables, livestock, any farm product can be hosted, but the flowersandseason.com application is specific to cut flowers, but there's a way for you to add other products.
Yeah, you can. They're both integrated closely together because again, like Flowers and Season is based on Market Maker. They're all synergistically connected.
And when I say when he says synergistic, when you make updates to your profile in one location, it automatically updates in all the different applications associated with Market Maker. So you don't have to go into each, they're not siloed. They're all one big synergistic application. You can sign on with social media, or if you don't have an account, then you have to initially create, put in your email, your username, and create a password. So this is, in order to learn how to use this, I created my own site and my own business. You can have multiple businesses within Market Maker. So you could have your flower, and you can have one for your for your fruits or vegetables. So there's multiple opportunities.
If you've got a family farm and one of your kids has their own operation, they can have a sub operation on your business page that is also there. So like there's a great way to integrate if you've got different ventures on your farm with different people sort of in charge. You can synthesize, and again, you only need to create one profile for multiple things. So they try to make this as easy as possible. But there is, so you can, lots of different things that you can have and produce and market through this app.
So this is showing you some of the affiliations that already exist within the profile. You go through each category and you're going to want to click, and then at the bottom you'll have add an application or add an affiliation, and you'll click. At the very end, after you've made all your decisions, like if you go to products and you go through each one of these different categories, you don't have to have a 100% complete farm profile in order to publish your farm profile. You can always go back and edit and change things, but it is in the end really important to actually publish it.
You have to hit the publish button
at the very bottom.
Yeah, so if you only want to start with just if this sounds interesting to you and you just want to get started, but it seems like a lot to do, you can't just go in and put your basic general farm info, hours, things like that, and what you sell, and then just call that good, and then come back again and add more at all times. And again, that will update anything in the Market Maker ecosystem all at once.
So specifically for the cut flowers, you'll want to click on business types. And then farmer rancher, because there's lots of different kinds of business types. You want to click on farmer rancher.
And you'll notice here, again, this is one thing we want to be promoting here is buyers can create profiles as well, because you can see there's these various different business types, some of which are more buyers than producers.
If you own a farm store, you could end up having a buyer profile as well.
And so once you get into the business types, then you can select flower grower in addition to other things. So we have urban farm here. You can select, you can select details about farm. You can say you're an urban farm. You can say you are, you produce nursery crops. You can say you do on-farm processing and production. There's all sorts of things you can add to fill out the profile of your farm about all the different things that you do in your farm business.
So for cut flower growers, you're going to want to select products and services. And you're going to want to choose you'll come up and you'll want to choose product types, floriculture, and cut flowers, and then from there, a whole list of cut flowers. This product is still in testing, so you may be growing cut flowers that aren't listed on the application. And if that happens,
Tell us about it.
we really want you to tell us about it, because we can tell them so that they add flowers that aren't listed. The other thing is the industry every year is coming out with new flowers. So there's a constant need to add and update and improve. So, but you just click on these and that will populate and inform buyers of at least the types of flowers that you're growing on the farm.
And so again, like, even if you don't have anything that, like, you know, when you're making your profile, like if you were making your profile right now, obviously you might not have any cut flowers growing right now unless you had high tunnels or anything like that. Still, click everything that you are planning to grow, like that your farm is going to sell. Because again, we're going to be searching future casting about what you're going to have available. And these dates when we have available are based on the data that we collected from our farmers of when things grow in our climate here in Ohio.
So what you have to understand is the programmers that wrote the application put in information about the plant hardiness zones of Ohio. And they also overlaid that with information that was collected from the grower partners. And so the way the application is designed is that based on weather data and plant hardiness data, flowers that are available during these kind of climatic conditions for Ohio that are generally available will come up. And if you listed in your grower profile that you will be carrying, these are the flowers that you have started seeds on, then you should come up on the list of farms that potentially has those flowers.
A quick question, is anybody here not farming in Ohio? Okay, one person. So currently our data is in Ohio. We are hopefully over time going to be working on expanding this to other states, but if you're in the zone 6 area, it should be pretty similar.
So the buy-sell forum, we talked about that earlier. This is where you would list that you have extra product that you want to move. Maybe you had an abundance of sunflowers, or maybe you're towards the end of the season and you just want to, move a lot of product. For whatever reason, you can communicate with buyers the availability of certain products by clicking the subcategory specialty product, and then giving a title. Here I put cut flower peonies, and I listed, how many peonies, how long the stems were, what the colors were. This is where you can share what you've got that you want to sell, and it'll push out a notification to cut flower buyers, and they can help you find your ad.
Conversely, you'll notice here that this page is looking to sell. There's also a looking to buy option that you can sign up for if you are looking to buy something. Say you got a farm stand or farm store, or you have a CSA and you need to supplement something because you had a crop failure. You could be a buyer too, potentially, if you needed to, and you can get those same push alerts and things like that.
So the application has the ability to also add photos. If you want, you can have a whole bunch of photos that are specific to your farm. And so this is on that buy-sell forum. You can put pictures of what you are trying to sell.
And you can set up, yeah, and you can say, hey, if you want to buy this, you got to pick it up, or we'll do local delivery, or we'll do long distance shipping. You can say a minimum quantity order, you can list price. You could also, if you don't want to list price, if you want it to be a negotiation, you can say that. Prices obviously make things a little bit easier. People know what they want to pay for. But basically this opens up a communication when they click on your ad, then that basically sends you a message and you communicate and organize the sale.
So, and this is like just an example of what you can create your own grower profile. I created this. I want you to see is you see how it's unpublished. You can work on it as much as you want and not publish it. At some point, you do need to publish it if you want the public to see it. You can always go back and edit, tweak, unpublish. That will also always be an option for you. They give you a place to put a logo, and there are a lot of online sites in cyberspace where you can create a logo if you don't already have one. There's always going to be a map where you can put your farm address, and that is really important feature because they have a mapping feature so that buyers can search a certain zip code and like a radius. They'll do like a circle around 50, 100 miles outside of that zip code to look for farms that have flowers and colors of flowers that they're trying to find.
And now I think, correct me if I'm wrong on this, right? If you don't want to have your full farm address publicly available, I think you don't have to, but if it's in your profile but not publicly faceable, people can still search for you in the region.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's an example of the map.
Here's the example of the map, and this helps people find you. So what's next? Something that you should know is we are still looking for cut flower farms that are interested in putting their grower profile in the system, providing us with feedback, and we have a few more $100 gift cards to cut flower growers who are willing to create their profile, provide us with feedback. You have to do both. You have to create your grower profile and then publish it and complete a survey that tells us, some feedback about how the application, how easy it was to use, things that were missing, things that you would like to see. And then we can provide that information to Market Maker to help improve the application.
We really, really want this feedback. We are actively searching for more funding to further develop this and really bring it out there and promote it more. I would say, like, for flowers in season specifically, we are still building this, but we are committed to really expanding this and working to promote it to buyers and to other growers. So if you are a cut flower grower and would like to sign up and do this, again, we do have $100 gift cards where we can do for flower growers who want to create this profile.
And just to be clear, the goal is to help cut flower growers expand their markets, to make them more competitive with international cut flower markets. We want our local growers to flourish.
Yeah, so these are some things we're working on adding a stem length search option which we don't currently have. Fine-tuning the option for protected culture and how that impacts seasonality is something we're still working on, all the details of. And being able to, I think this connecting color selection of flower types, being able to search color flower together instead of just color or flower.
That's right.
Okay. So yeah, our long-term goals are increasing our market options for cut flower growers. We want to improve this communication. That was the big struggle. That's the reason why we did this, is because just having a hard time communicating with buyers who have certain expectations based on the international trade that aren't necessarily matching up with what seasonal farmers do in Ohio or the Midwest in general. And just again, increasing our competitiveness, improving our buyers' ability to find locally grown cut flowers. And we just want to make buyers more aware that our locally grown flowers are a more sustainable option they can use as branding for their own marketing purposes as well. These are our cut flower grower partners. These are the farms that helped us with our project. So we want to recognize them and thank them for all the work that they've done helping us produce this this product. Like, we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. So their help was invaluable, and their insight has been invaluable for shaping what this product has become.
And just so you know, the way they helped us is over the course of a year, they shared and collected data from their farms on when they started seeds, when they started harvesting. We chose 5 farms from different parts of Ohio so that we would have data from the different regions. And one of the outcomes that we're still working on is a calendar of seed starting to harvesting that can be shared with growers and buyers, actually. Yes.
So at the risk of being off topic, but we're just getting started in this in an urban area, and we're also interested in the some wild flower things that we might do. And I'm just wondering, would that boot us out of this?
No.
So
we might not have all the native, like if you're talking about like native plants, native like prairie plants and things like that, you might not have all of them as listed species yet. But like, you know, again, that's something we want feedback on about what we need to add.
Yeah, if there's a cut flower species that is not listed in here, and you let us know in the feedback, it can be added. It's pretty easy to add flowers to the application, but it would not kick you out.
Okay, good. I hate getting kicked out. The other thing is we have cuttings, and I don't know if that would fall into this category.
It's fine. There's a lot of different ways that cut flowers are grown. You'll have seeds.
Or are you talking about like cuttings for propagation? Like,
Yeah.
okay, like selling propagules. I don't know if they have a specific product listing for propagules, but I imagine they could create it.
There is a real demand.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
Yeah, I think that could be something like specifically of flowers. You're talking about like cuttings for like trees and shrubs and things like that for
cuttings
grafting.
for like natives like elderberry.
Okay.
And, fig and things like that.
Okay, so there is within Market Maker a section where you can click on nursery crops, and that could be in that section as well.
Okay, all right. This is exciting.
So while we're focusing on cut flowers, this application, Market Maker, it has pathways for all different kinds of agriculture production, including grains.
Yeah, and part of like, you know, when we were developing the flowers and season app, part of that is now CSU is now the license holder for Market Maker in the state of Ohio. Ohio State had it previously and let it lapse, so now we have taken that over. And you know, again, we want to be helping further this app development. So I think it has kind of languished in Ohio in terms of like user database and user usability. So we are really hoping to work hard and promote it to both buyers and sellers of product in all farms, not just cut flowers, but cut flowers is really what this particular presentation is about.
What do we have to do to get the $100?
Fill out the cut flower grower profile, and then publish it, and then
you have to notify us that you did it.
Okay.
And we will send you a follow-up survey that you have to complete, and we'll review your profile, because a lot of times people will fill out, create a grower profile, but they won't publish it and they don't realize they haven't published it. So we have to complete the grower profile, publish it, complete the survey, and then we'll get back with you. You'll get it in the mail.
Okay, great.
yeah, and it's one of those, like, you know, like Visa gift cards, basically.
It's $100 Visa gift card or something like that.
Well, I thought it had something to do with getting onto the thing.
Yeah.
I'm fine not to have it.
Well, I mean, we would love to have you do it because we
We-
have the money. We'd like to give it to you if you
we-
want to create the profile.
And just, so you know, it is for cut flower growers. So we want everyone who has a farm to get into Market Maker, but the cut flower, the $100 gift cards is specific for cut flower growers.
I'm sorry, but was that gift card $10.99?
No, it's just a gift card.
Yeah.
And this is our contact information.